Coach, your team ended St. Scholastica's 17-game winning streak on Saturday with a 14-13 victory in Duluth. What was the most exciting part of that game for you?
Yeah, the game itself was very intense. Didn't have time to really get excited about much. Always thinking about what's the next thing we need to do. And when we had the football and we're getting close down in there, are we going to punt it? Are we going to kick it? You know, what are we going to do? Those kinds of situations. So from my perspective personally as the head coach, it wasn't fun, but it was a very intense game, and I love the way our players competed.
How about statistics? What statistic, either team or individual, stuck out to you as you reviewed the post-game statistics packet?
Yeah, you know, we're not big statistics people, but when I saw that we'd only given up not even 200 yards, I was kind of in shock. I would have never guessed that was the case. And I thought we did a great job offensively of getting first downs. If you look at the third down ratio, and those were two things that I thought were pretty critical for our team on Saturday.
Did the weather have any impact on Saturday? I know the game temperature was about 40 degrees around kickoff, and you finished after the sun went down.
Yeah, no, not at all. It was a beautiful night in Duluth. Duluth East has got a great facility there. The water was gorgeous. Saw ships coming through while the game was going on, so it was a great night.
Your team went into the locker room with a 7-3 halftime lead on Saturday. Did the game last year against St. Scholastica, where you only trailed by 7 points at the same time before losing 35-7, did that ever enter your mind during the break this last Saturday?
Yeah, there's no doubt that entered into my mind. I think it entered into a lot of folks' mind that we were going to finish strong. Regardless of what happened score-wise, we were not going to let what happened last year happen again for a second time. And I'm not even talking about the score, but I'm just saying playing strong.
At what point did you know Northwestern had won on Saturday?
To be honest, when the clock struck 000, then I knew we won for sure. Because Scholastica is a pretty good football team, and even though we had the football there at the end, crazy things have happened.
I know you're big on team accomplishments, but if you had to give the game ball to one player after Saturday's game, who would it be and why? And I know you had some great performances by several players.
Yeah, we really did. We had quite a few individual performances, but after the game I said, you know, this was a team deal. Special teams, offense, defense. I can't really point somebody out. If I was going to point anybody out, it'd be Evan Ostrom. I feel bad for Evan that he wasn't able to finish out. We put in a package for him. Not specifically, but he played a big part in one of our personnel packages, and he got hurt, and so that was hard to take for all of us.
Another thing I know about you is that you don't overlook any one game or any team regardless of the previous week's result. So let's shift ahead to this coming Saturday's game at Crown. How do you ensure that your team's focus doesn't waver in practice this week?
Well, I think that goes back to the very beginning of how we always approach things, and that it's how good can we be at the end of the season. And teams try to beat us. We just need to be us this week and throughout the rest of the season as well. And if we do that, then that's going to be something where we can continue to build on to get better rather than focusing on winning a game.
From what you've seen on film, what does Crown present?
Yeah, Crown has gotten a lot better since the beginning of the year, and so it's going to be a challenge for us. They're always fired up when we go over, and John Howard does a great job of getting those guys ready to play their best football when Northwestern plays them, no doubt about that.
You're used to 1 p.m. kickoffs. Last Saturday's game started 3 hours later at 4 p.m., and this week's contest kicks off at 12 noon. Will that change affect anything for your team?
Yeah, the only thing it changes is I still got to find a place for us to eat breakfast yet. We usually eat breakfast at Old Country Buffet on the road to Crown, and it doesn't open till 8, and we need to eat breakfast at 7:30. If we're going to kind of keep with our tradition. But I like the fact that the games are at different times. I think that keeps us on our toes.
In looking around the UMAC, Greenville came from behind to beat McMurray, while Morris seemed to have its way with Westminster last Saturday. How would you characterize the league right now?
Yeah, it's becoming more balanced. There's no doubt about that. You know, Scholastica had their great 17-game win streak, and so they've shown that they're at the top of the league, and they're still the defending champions at this point. And so then you see McMurray getting better and Crown getting better every week. And so it's nice when you, from the perspective of a fan, that that you can go in and don't really know who's going to win the game and who's going to lose the game.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your extra time this week, and we'll see you next Monday.
All right, thanks a lot.